everyone, my name is Shauna and welcome to another figure unboxing. Today we're looking at the Snail Shell Assassin, the 1/12 scale action figure by Snail Shell. If you've seen my previous reviews and unboxings on my channel, you know I got milk tea a while ago. I'll admit, I hated this figure in every way except for her appearance. She's got lots of problems with her. You can watch the video if you want to know more about it, but she really only looks good in this one pose with this one gun. But I don't like to judge companies, restaurants, you know, all that from just one product. This figure also kind of looked too cool to pass up, so I got it and we're gonna give Snail Shell another chance. So let's just get right into it. I ordered this from Ami and I honestly can't quite remember the price for it. I ordered it a long time ago as a pre-order, and it arrived just yesterday. Looks like we also get a nice art card, which honestly, this is really cool. I like the overall look and the pose of it. And a little manual with some, we get some extra wrist joints, which is really nice. All right, first and foremost, we got the figure just on her own, in a simple plastic wrap with some more on the body. Yeah, look at that, dude. So far, I mean, she's got a really, she's got a really loose thigh swivel too, so much that it just comes off. It's not looking good already.
But little did he know.
Okay, that's amazing. That is amazing right there. Definitely has that good range of motion. There's like no backwards motion. That's still pretty good though. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That's kind of what I was talking about with the Megami device model kit, is you could get them in really tight poses like this. I know we're jumping right into the posability here, but this is like the most important thing for this figure to me. So she does have a bicep swivel. The arms are a little too easy to remove. It's not that big of a deal though, just gotta be a little more careful with them. Yeah, as long as you're focusing in on that joint right there. I mean, yeah, she can get good range of motion. Can't bend too far down, which is kind of obvious why. Really, but she's got a really good back bend, which kind of leaves a little gap there, but I don't mind a little bit of gapping to get good poses. Can you get that classic, like, I don't remember the movie, where she like literally goes down into the splits to like avoid lasers going over her? Yeah, dude, like you can totally get that crazy posability where she's like spider mode. Yeah, they did. I am definitely into like this posability right now. It does feel all quite loose, but not too loose, because like, as you see, if I shake her around, nothing flops around. So that's very much a desired trait. Let's get a little closer look at the mech head though. This looks a lot cooler in person than on like the images. To me, this implies that she has no human face underneath. But if she is full android, like not a mech girl or a cyborg, but full android, and her head can literally transform into this, that makes some sense. Can't bend back too far, but can bend down really far, which is amazing. Can twist from side to side, and it's got a little bit of cloth here, and from far away it kind of just blends in. Actually, it's not that I like that a lot though, because that seems kind of realistic, that like you would have like cloth, or is it called webbing, inner webbing? I'm not sure what it's called, with like actual armor pieces and stuff. Like when people dress up as stormtroopers, you know, they got the black cloth in between some of the joints. But yeah, I'd give this figure's posability like a 9 out of 10. Like there's no real back kick, but the leg itself does do pretty amazing stuff on its own without it. And you got the tail, which I don't know how I feel about this. I guess you could maybe justify it by saying like, since she is so nimble and limber, that she needs the tail as extra balance, you know? Because like animals with tails, it's for balance because they're so like mobile and can move, and like cats can do some pretty crazy things, so it might actually be justifiable to have the tail there. I've been rambling on for quite a long time here. You've probably seen a lot of cuts, but I am very impressed with the articulation, and I'm glad I gave Snail Shell another try, honestly, so far, because this is pretty good. There's also this other piece that I guess it's to swap it out so she doesn't have a tail actually. Okay, that's actually kind of nice. I like that a lot. I'm assuming she's like an android who can transform between looking like a human and looking like this extra like predator type assassin form. She probably has like cybernetic implants and enhancements in this form to help her see things and detect things and be more limber and move around with the extra tail's balance. Then when she transforms back to being a human, or this is what she would look like on the other side of the transformation. Yeah, there you go, no tail. And with that, I guess we remove the head. Okay, it's just a simple pin, it's more just a tiny ball joint. But I do really like the head on this figure. So I'll probably keep her in the human form like at all times. I love her face sculpt, her eye color, her hair color. Very cool. She has the posable eyes and she's got nice and tight bangs, which is very welcome. Even the Science Cat lady and Milk Tea didn't have very tight bangs. So there you go, they got the positional eyes. Looks like they did pretty good, but I can fix them a little more. So you take the plus, match it up with the eye, stick it in, and they're very tight as expected. And she does have an alternate head, which I actually kind of like, kind of distressed and sad, which either shows her an alternate side of her personality, or I would like to think it shows the side of her that she knows she's like this mechanical being. Maybe she was made to be an assassin, but as she's grown, she's like developed a personality that maybe they didn't intend. You know, classic sci-fi anime story. She's becoming more self-aware and doesn't like what she does. You know, stuff like that, maybe. Then you've got the ponytail, which, not gonna lie, I like a good ponytail, and it looks like it's a ball joint. But you can leave it out, honestly, and she just has like this cool neck piece kind of in her head, which looks like a link or something, like kind of like Ghost in the Shell, where it has stuff that connects to the body. Ooh, it's very tight. It's very tight. And that pin is so thin. All right, I got it back in. Oh yeah, I just love the styling, the hairstyling. Let's put her back on. Actually, it looks like she'll need a separate neck piece. Yeah, the neck can't really do anything in this form. So yeah, the other form is definitely her assassin form. This is just your standard posing coolly with a weapon form. All right, let's do the quick test though to see if she can stand up well on her own. I highly doubt it. It's snail shell after all. It's not bad actually, but no, the ankles again are very weak. Sorry, I'll get her in full view. Yeah. She has the same problems as Milk Tea in a lot of ways. Her ankles are very weak, and these joints are they're not loose enough to where they flop, but they're loose enough to where you try to stand her without a base and put pressure on it. See, she crumbles under her own weight and falls backwards. I've learned my lesson, and I'm not going to try to pose her standing up without a base anymore. Besides, she's got a really cool base that we'll look at later. Let's move on to the weapons first, since these are probably a lot more interesting than the hands. And this video is starting to take quite a while, so we'll move on. These are pretty freaking cool, dude. Perspective of how big it is. It's pretty big, but it makes sense for an assassin, right? They usually have smaller dagger-like weapons. Very cool design. Again, we're not gonna bother talking about practicality because anime does not care. Very cool though, I very much like it. Then we've got her harpoon gun, which is crazy cool. It's got 3 harpoons, a bendy wire, so you can even make her look like she's literally assassinating someone maybe. Although I don't know if these are used to assassinate rather than for her own mobility. So we have 3 different heads. This one, I assume, well, let's look at the gun first. It can attach to her back, which is crazy cool. Yeah, very cool looking piece of machinery here. And I'm very happy I didn't have to build it as a model kit. I'm glad they kind of threw that to the wayside compared to Milk Tea, where this probably would have been a model kit. Maybe they would have done like they did with this and ignored that. But you got the small tip, which I assume is for just posing her with it on her back, so it's not shooting. Then you've got the very pointed tip, which you attach to the wire, which maybe looks like it's stabbing into someone or into something, like stabbing into a wall. Then you've got the grapple tip, which looks like it's, you know, shooting to like grapple onto a ledge of something, which I just broke it, but I didn't actually break it. These two can only be attached to the gun with the bendable wire. Yeah, this wire goes really far into the gun. It's got good like connection. And look at that, like it's pretty sturdy, but since it is a wire, you're gonna get those tiny little bends in it. Probably hard to see because the camera's not gonna focus on that thin little wire. Harpoon piece just came off again. My fault, I know. And it fell into the oblivion. Can't find it. I'll find it one day probably. But I don't think the weight of it can hold like the actual figure. It'll just fall out. Also comes with this piece, which I'm assuming is this a sort of, yeah, put the sword, dagger, knife, whatever you want to call it in this. Maybe it's supposed to go with the, yeah. Okay, so they did a very good job at hiding the ball joints. They're under these little pegs that you can remove from her lower back. And you indeed put the accessory into said joint like that. And she's got a knife on her back, which looks really cool. And I'm sure she can reach back, yeah, pull it out. So you can even pose her like that. Actually, oh, you could do the classic looking over her shoulder, you know, grabbing the weapon. Yeah, that's cool. She's actually got kind of a Attack on Titan. I don't know what they're called. They have two of them in that show. I'm pretty sure one on each side, but whatever this thing's called, the grapple device they use to like mount or attach to the Titans, it's right there in the same kind of position on her lower waist. Pretty cool. It's got some ball joint movement, so it's got pretty good posability. And I guess when she's like not using it, pulled up behind her, it's literally a grapple machine. You just shoot it up, you helps it climb up, it retracts in, goes in behind the back. She's on her way. This looks very cool. I'll probably leave this in when I pose her. Yeah, pretty dang cool if I say so myself. Plus you can pose that so the wind's catching it. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, I'm gonna clean everything up, get out the base, mess with that. Then we'll talk about the figure in general and show you some other stuff at the end. All right, first, look at the hands. These are the same for both sides, so also show one of each. She has these very tight, basically punching fists, I would say. Some tight, grabby hands. And then she has looser, kind of just open hands, equipped currently. And then she has the crawling gloves, where it kind of looks like she's in that spider mode crawling. Then you have the base. This is really cool. You can see these tiny little divots in here to where you stick your finger in and lift them out. Oh, there's so many. You got the largest one and then two more on the sides. So basically, I'm pretty sure you can store everything you need inside of this. I'm not sure actually. The main pieces I would want on hand and not have to bother going to the box for are these that they don't fit because like no matter how you put them in, like they're just too tall, which is it's kind of a shame, but I get it. Probably a little much to ask for a huge brick of a base. I don't know if I would want that either. So the base, the stand itself, unfortunately, is a alligator. It's not an alligator clip. Alligators clips close by themselves. Wow, this part down here is really tight. I can appreciate that, I guess. Alright, and actually, these are exposed screws. That is very nice. So if it feels too loose, or if it gets loose over time, you can tighten them with that. Alright, this is the final pose I got her in. Actually, I could probably fix up this. I had way more fun posing this figure than the Science Cat Lady and Milk Tea combined. It was the best feeling action figure I've touched ever. Granted, in the end, 9 or 8 out of 10, this figure is really good. I am surprised how much I like it. Snail Shell, you knocked it out of the park with this one. Her cheeks are quite a bit more flush. It really does look like she's blushing like all the time, but that could be a factor to where she's used to being in her assassin form so much that when like someone sees her in her normal human self, she feels bashful about it. Don't know, you can make up your own story about that. I don't know if they have a story for her at all. The stand is okay. I didn't like this at first. It is kind of big for her waist, but it kind of does just settle her in where she doesn't move around. A back peg, she would probably be moving around more and twisting it. So I think I like this stand more than I thought now. I'm really happy with this figure. This might be one of my favorite figures I own now. Love the base, very easily accessible. I love that too. This is really like excellently designed. Hopefully I put the price on Ami at the beginning, just because I am pretty sure she did not cost that much money comparatively to like other figures. Highly, highly, highly recommend this figure. Very much like it. But this figure also includes this little card here where these two figures are released. This one is in color. Maybe it's releasing soon. Same with this one. Maybe they're releasing soon. Then you got more like just non-painted figures that maybe are releasing in the future. So you got this weird Mecha Centaur, which that's like just a different angle of it. Then you have these look like a pairing figure, kind of like these figures. Like they go together because they're showed on the same line. I don't know. These also look very cool. I'm not into the whole weird centaur mecha thing. She looks like just another assassin form almost, just because it's like a similar color scheme, but maybe she's more of a soldier. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the snail shell line. I might get more in the future because this one is really cool. Thank you for watching. I wish you the best in all your figure collecting adventures. Farewell, my friends.